For years, real estate has been a seller's market in the DMV. Low inventory created bidding wars and drove up housing prices. But we're starting to see a dramatic shift in the wake of federal layoffs. A new report from Redfin shows the number of homes for sale in the region rose 25% compared to the same time last year. That is the largest gain on record. Joining me now is Corey Burr with TTR Sotheby's International Realty. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Is this just the beginning?
Well, the first thing is people need to understand we're just in a totally different market than we've been in over the last 5 years. As you alluded to, we had been comparing offers and escalation clauses and how quickly houses could sell over the past 5 years. And this year's just different. Buyers have more of a leg up given the higher inventory and just the overall feeling of the market right now.
How is this overall impacting prices? We know there's an asking price and then there's actually the price that the home sells at. Are we seeing homes sell at the asking price?
What's amazing, given all the market turbulence over the last few months, is that year over year, the median sales price in the Washington region is up 8%. And that's almost unbelievable given all of the effects of DOGE and the tariff situation that started at the beginning of April. But we just don't know what's going to happen over the next several months. All I do know right now is that buyers have a much better situation, a much clearer situation than they've had over the last 5 years in terms of being able to shop for more properties and not face the same level of competition that they did previously.
And let's talk a little bit about interest rates. They're stubbornly still high. That has to continue to be a barrier for many would-be home buyers, right?
It really is. It really is, particularly at the lower and medium price ranges, because every 1/8% drop on the 30-year fixed brings in a lot more people who can afford it. It's not as big a factor at the higher price ranges because they've got more assets on which to bring into bear. So we're really hoping that as the consumer prices come down, as I anticipate over the rest of the year, the Fed is gradually going to be able to bring down their Fed funds rate. And I think that's going to set the tone for the market of the 10-year Treasury, which is really what our mortgage rates trade on.
Now, you mentioned this being a buyer's market, if you will. Does that still hold true for even some of these really desirable neighborhoods that it seems like if you blink, the homes are sold or under contract already?
So I would say it's a neutral market. It's not yet a buyer's market, and it remains to be seen if it's going to turn into a buyer's market. What I can say is that every new listing is a seller's market for the first 7 to 10 days. But if nothing happens in that short window, every next day becomes a little bit more of a buyer's market for that particular property.
Oh, that's interesting. That's good information. That's a gem right there. All right, Corey, we thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit about what's shaking in the real estate market around here. Thank you so much.